Dr. Seema Arya, and welcome to another episode of Beyond the White Coat. Welcome and thank you for being with us. You have been in the medicine field for about 30 plus years, and you have recently moved to sleep medicine. Is it that over the last 30 years you realized that sleep is a very important factor for good health? And is that why this is a field that you have chosen to be in?
I was initially, had joined Central Health Services, and later on, my husband's a pulmonologist, and he was into sleep studies, and I was supervising most of the sleep studies, and I had to answer a lot of questions put up by patients. So I into reading about sleep and realized how important it is, and I managed to, practice before preach, So I started, taking all the cues of getting a good sleep, and I realized that it is really affecting me and my health, my mood, my energy is becoming better. We were telling the patients, and if they are following our advice, they come up and tell us, that they have really improved. Their mood has improved, their physical health has improved, and they're having a better quality of life than before after they've started looking after their sleep.
Right. So when it comes to health, people generally talk about the first half of the day, which is when they're active, when they're awake. People talk about what food to eat and how to exercise and things like that. But hardly anybody talks about sleep. The only thing we know about sleep is get about 8 hours of sleep. Is that true? Or I've seen people get even less sleep, like 5 hours of sleep, and they seem to be doing okay. What is the ideal sleep time according to you?
So the ideal sleep time, as per American Academy of Sleep Medicine and National Sleep Foundation, for average adult is 7 to 9 hours. So what I tell my patients is, I think 9 hours, nobody has the time to sleep. So average we take it around 7 to 7.5 hours. So if they sleep around 11, then they should just count 7.5 hours from 11 p.m. If they sleep about at 12, then they should count it from 12. So about 7.5 hours, good quality sleep if they get, I think it'll get them along the whole day, without dozing off, without feeling loss of energy. So that is a good quality sleep. And like you said, we talk about nutrition and we talk about exercise, but sleep is as important as nutrition and exercise. If you do not eat for 12 days, you will survive. But if you do not sleep for 12 days, it is difficult to survive. So people who had stopped, there's been a Guinness Book of World Record when the person didn't sleep for 11 days or 18 days, and they reported hallucinations, blurred visions, slurred speech, and memory lapses and everything. So it is very difficult to go without sleep. Even for, I think, even for a week, if you do not sleep, it's difficult. You can go without eating, but not without sleeping. So that is how important the sleep is.
Is it true that people should have a sleep time routine, sleep at the same time, wake up at the same time, or is it just enough to get 7.5 hours of sleep?
I think it is very important to maintain a consistent sleep-wake cycle because there's something like biological clock or an internal clock in our body. So maintaining a consistent sleep-wake time regulates the body clock, and our body is very smart. If you sleep at 10 p.m. for a week, on eighth day you won't have to tell yourself. You will start feeling sleepy at 10 o'clock, and if you get up at 5 o'clock, you don't only need to take an alarm clock to get up. You will get up at 5 a.m. Naturally, because your internal body clock would be set according to that time. So it's
And that's
important to maintain a consistent time. It really helps you get a better quality of sleep.
so we are talking about technology these days. Obviously, everything around is revolving around technology now. People are naturally not following natural wake up and sleep times. People are staying up late, waking up late. So, is there anything that will help them avoid this blue light before bed? Quite popular. People say don't use TV or phones 1 hour before bedtime, but it's not possible in today's world. So do you have any tips or tricks to help people stay away from blue light before bedtime?
So what does blue light do in a cell phone or a mobile is that limits melatonin production. So melatonin is a hormone which regulates a sleep-wake cycle. So it affects the melatonin production and it affects our sleep. So what I would suggest is normally nowadays there are some blue light filters also, but ideal thing is at least for 1 hour. That is fasting, mobile fasting, net fasting. 1 hour before sleep, you should try to avoid, looking at your mobile and computer. It's not only blue light. So once you start looking at your mobile, you tend to play some games, you tend to watch a movie, which stimulates your mind. So right now it becomes difficult for the mind, active mind, to wind down, which we want to do that while we are sleeping. So give your mind time to relax, listen, read a book, listen to calming music, take a bath, just meditate, think of the day's events. This will help you sleep better than rather than looking at a horror movie or looking at mobile or playing games on mobile, which will further stimulate your mind. Blue light is important. Also, we need to avoid the stimulation of mind.
So, if somebody is watching a suspense movie or a thriller or a horror, does it affect the quality of sleep that they get afterwards?
It does affect because whatever you watch, whatever you see before going to bed, it does play in your mind. Maybe the dreams you have may be associated with it, and you start thinking. So it's always better to watch a relaxing movie, watch a comedy movie if you have to watch TV, and do not watch thrillers and suspense movies at least late in the night. So it's better to calm down your mind rather than to stimulate it, like I was saying earlier. So that is why we also avoid caffeine and foods, alcohol, because they stimulate the mind. What we want to do is we want the mind to relax and wind down from the activities of the day rather than stimulating it and not letting it relax.
Since you mentioned food, is there any particular food that people should avoid before bedtime?
Yeah, I think I can tell you a list of foods they should be avoided. We avoid caffeine and other stimulant drinks. Alcohol should be avoided. People have a misconception that when they have alcohol, they get a better sleep. But initial 2 hours of sleep may be good, but then they get up in the middle of the night and they're not able to go back to sleep. So alcohol promotes fragmented sleep, and that is not a good quality sleep. And we should avoid spicy food. Why? Because it might cause heartburn and gastritis, which will also not allow you to go back to sleep, have a proper good quality sleep. Avoid heavy foods. Again, the body is resting, the metabolism is slowed down, so digestion is also slowed down. So having a very heavy meal at the night, during dinner time, will also affect your sleep. So dinner should be the lightest meal of the day, and it should be non-spicy. It shouldn't be very spicy, and it should not be very oily. And sugary foods like ice cream and lots of ice cream. I'm not saying that you should not have ice cream, and everything. All this is related to our sleep. We have to have a proper gut metabolism to let us sleep properly. So if we have heartburn or if we have any stimulant food like caffeine, everything will be affecting our food. So best is to have a light dinner. You can have heavy breakfast, you can have a moderate lunch, but dinner should be the lightest meal of the day.
So it
And
looks like
it should also be 2 hours before sleeping. The timing is also important. I would not suggest that people should have dinner. I've seen a lot of people just have dinner and go to bed. That should not be the case. Try to have it at least 1 hour, if not 2 hours before bedtime, so that you move around and you're able to digest something before you lay down.
so. There's also this thing that comes up that maybe 3,000 steps after dinner is a good practice to do. Is it true? Do you believe that people should go on a light walk after dinner so that they get better sleep?
Yeah, light walk after dinner is a good practice. I wouldn't say about vigorous exercise because that also, is not good before sleeping. Again, it stimulates your body and mind. Light stroll, light walk after dinner is a very good practice before you finally lay down to sleep.
So it looks like the entire 24 hours is not really broken down like we imagine. So we think of it like morning to evening and then night as a separate activity, but it looks like everything is correlated, right? Your food, your exercise, your day, how you spend the day and the night, everything is correlated. So people sometimes do take a nap, and I've also read somewhere in the internet that napping twice, at least twice a week, is very helpful for a healthy heart. But how good is it for a sleep routine? Do you think that napping every day is a good thing, bad thing? What do you think?
Short naps, 10 to 20 minutes naps, we also call them power naps, are really good. People basically tend to relax their mind and they boost their energy and they get up, refreshed up to 10 to 20. So what happens, when you take 10 to 20 minutes naps, you are basically into a light sleep. Sleep has four stages. So first two stages are known as light sleep, and second, third is the deep sleep, and fourth is the REM sleep, that is rapid eye movement sleep. So when you take a short nap, you're in a light sleep mode. So when you get up, you feel refreshed. But once you go back, you take a longer nap, you go into deep sleep. So when you get up from deep sleep, it's difficult immediately to feel refreshed. You feel kind of sleep inertia because you want to sleep longer. So that is also one reason they say it's better to take power naps rather than sleeping, for 1 or 2 hours. Maximum there is 40 minutes, that is what the limit I tell my patients, 40 minutes, not more than 40 minutes. And these naps should be early in the afternoon, not very late. Some people tell me they want to take a nap at 5 o'clock. Don't do that because then it affects your night sleep, and the circadian rhythm, which we call circadian rhythm, that get up during the day and sleep at the night, it gets affected. And your night early routine, nighttime would shift further. So basically, that is what happens during COVID time. All the teenagers, everybody was watching Netflix. So the time which they were sleeping at 11 o'clock shifted to 2 o'clock. And they used to get up in the morning at 9 o'clock. And now when they have to go back to office, it becomes difficult to get at the same time. And it's good to have small naps, but not very long naps. That is what my suggestion is. Have naps, enjoy the naps during daytime, but not very long ones.
Right. So even if it means that they have to keep an alarm to wake up, it's better to do that rather than take longer naps. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And does sleeping position matter in any way? Does it affect the quality of sleep that you get?
Sleeping position, I would suggest, is by individual preferences. Some people want to sleep supine. Some people are sleeping in a lateral position, fetal position, prone position. So that is, I would say, as per their comfort. But people who have sleep disorder like sleep apnea, they're better off sleeping in a lateral position. And some people, it's also written that if you sleep in left lateral position, your digestion is better. So if a person, who has a sleeping disorder like sleep apnea comes to me, he would not be able to sleep supine because the tongue falls back and the airway is obstructed. So they generally would sleep in a lateral position because it gives them more comfort. So whatever position you sleep, you should be comfortable. And that is what I would say. Some people sleep prone. So that is also fine, what is best for them. And I would suggest lateral position is a good position to sleep.
So how does a person realize that either they have a sleep disorder or they are sleep deprived? I know these are two separate things. I'm assuming. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Sleep disorder is different from being sleep deprived. So how does can you first tell the difference between the two and then move on to tell what are the signs?
Okay, so sleep disorder can be of varied kinds. Sleep disorder can be a obstructive sleep apnea, it can be insomnia, it can be a breathing disorder, it can be parasomnias in which people tend to walk and talk during their sleep. Whereas sleep deprivation is basically when you do not get enough quantity of a good quality sleep. So, when I say about sleep deprived, a person can get to know that he's sleep deprived when he has to put an alarm, and he has to get up. He finds it difficult to get up from the bed in the morning. He cannot go through the day without dozing. He sleeps in important meetings. He sleeps in lecture halls, or doesn't have enough energy. He needs to nap often to get through the day. And if he sleeps in the night, he falls asleep within 5 minutes. Normal sleep latency, that is, sleep latency is the time you take to fall asleep once you lie down in bed, is around 10 to 15 minutes. So if you just touch the pillow and go up to sleep, it means you are sleep deprived, And sleep disorders are different, like we have sleep apnea, which consists of having deep, loud snoring with breathing pauses, with choking, with gasping. So people do come to us with those disorders. I think most of the people in India are sleep deprived nowadays because they do not prioritize sleep. They think working is more important than sleeping. And what they do not realize that if they sleep well, they'll work even better.
Is it possible that a person can get 7.5 hours of sleep, but still have signs like the minute they hit the bed, they fall asleep or they snooze their alarm multiple times before getting up, but they've got 7.5 hours of sleep, let's assume. So does it mean that that person is still sleep deprived?
Yeah, so as for sleep, quantity as well as quality of sleep is important. So if you sleep for even 7.5 to 8 hours, but you're getting fragmented sleep and you're getting up many times in the night to go to the washroom, or because of the nightmares, or because of any anxiety or stress, so that does not count as a good sleep. A good sleep is a 7.5 hours of good quality sleep. By good quality, I means non-fragmented, peaceful, restful sleep, where do not have to get up many times to go to the washroom, or you do not have to get up because of your worries or anything, which makes you wake up in the night. So even if you sleep for 8 hours and you're getting up in the night, that doesn't count as good quality sleep, and you will be sleep deprived if you do not have good quality sleep.
Right. And so we are talking about sleep apnea a lot. Is it different from snoring or is it the same? Does
Snoring basically is the sound created by vibration of tissues in the throat. So snoring can be normal, and snoring can also be harbinger of some sleep disorder. So sleep apnea will all snorers do not have sleep apnea, but mostly sleep apnea people who are suffering from sleep apnea have loud and frequent snoring, which disturbs other people. So snoring as such, I won't say is harmful. Lot of people snoring. Snoring can be due to various causes. It can be due to anatomical causes when your this thing throat tissues are there, constricted. So then it can be due to dental. But this is not aligned, and it can be due to nasal congestion, allergy. So all these people who have all nasal congestion can also snore. But sleep apnea is different from snoring. Sleep apnea is a condition when people have loud, frequent snoring, and they have frequent pauses in breathing. When they tend to stop breathing actually, and the oxygen in the body goes down. So that's a harmful condition, and that can be life-threatening if the pause in breathing becomes long. So that is absolutely different.
so somebody who has sleep apnea must visit a doctor,
Yes,
right?
must visit a doctor. So there are a lot of indications, we have in our clinic. So a couple sleeping, in separate rooms. So that is a lot of people we get. They're sleeping in separate because the husband snores a lot. So when the snoring is so loud that it is affecting your everyday life, and people do not sleep in the same room as the person, then you should absolutely visit a sleep specialist and get a sleep study done to rule out sleep apnea.
Right. And
A
it's
lot of
going
people
to
come to
affect their relationship as well.
Yeah. And a lot of people come to us, they had gone on trips with friends, they slept in the same room. So the friends basically threw him out of the room because he was snoring so loud. So when they come back from the trips, they come to us because it is embarrassing also. When the people sleeping next to you can't sleep because of your snoring. So when it is so, like I said, it's affecting your life or others' life, you must, get it tested and get a sleep study done. So we ask people to visit a ENT specialist also to rule out nasal obstruction as cause of snoring. And we do a sleep study in that case to find out whether he has sleep apnea or not.
Right. Does dreams affect the quality of sleep or does it matter at all?
Dreams basically occur during rapid eye movement sleep, or we call REM sleep, and dreams do not really affect the quality of sleep, unless and until you have frequent nightmares, and that might be related to your stress, anxiety, or underlying psychological condition. Otherwise, sleeps might be related to whatever you were doing during the day or whatever you were doing before going to bed. So, sleep quantity, quality, sleep architecture is more related to quality of sleep rather than dreams. Dreams, people can be restful after having a dream. Some people remember their dreams, some people do not remember their dreams. But I do not think quality of sleep is affected by dreams. You can just be having a nice sleep and dream, and you get up in the morning, you might not even recall what dream you had. Unless until it is very frequent nightmares and it disturbing your sleep, then you should visit a sleep specialist.
Right. And you also mentioned something about drowsy driving, apparently a condition that people fall asleep during driving. And we all know it can be very dangerous. But could you tell us a little bit more about how to avoid this?
So drowsy driving, a lot of people, drunken driving, drowsing driving, I think both are very, very important conditions because it is dangerous to yourself and to others on the road. So a lot of people think if we increase the air conditioning or we can we have loud music, and even if we are sleeping, it's okay to drive. Maybe we'll wake up, but that is a very, very wrong. It's a misconception. If you are feeling drowsy, you should not drive. You should not be on the road at all because you are danger to yourself and to others on the road. Please do not venture out if you're feeling drowsy. And in case you are feeling drowsy, tell your friend or your partner or your parents or relative to drive, or do not drive at all. Take a cab, take a Uber. Now we have all the facilities available rather than going out, and hurting yourself and others on the road. So drowsy driving is a must. No, no, absolutely no. So in the moment you think you're feeling sleepy, I have a lot of patients who I tell them, if you feel sleepy, please stop your car by the side of the road, sleep for half an hour. If you're feeling okay, only then drive. Otherwise, please do not drive at all.
Right. I also know of a lot of people who work in the night shifts, and it's obviously not very natural to sleep during the day and wake up in the nights. But is there anything that they can do to have good quality sleep? Is it the same as getting nighttime sleep?
It's absolutely not similar to have a nighttime sleep because, like I said, our biological clock is set to wake up during the day and sleep during the night. But since they have to work at night, and I think a lot of factories and manufacturing units do work during the night, so there's no choice. Some people will have to work at night. The best we can do is during the night they should put on a lot of lights, bright lights, so that it gives them a feeling of being a day. And when they go back home, if they are going back home, they should wear sunglasses so that they start feeling that it's night, And when they go home, the family should be very supportive. They should also be told that they should not be disturbed. The room should be as if it's night over there. The drapes should be very heavy drapes, and there should be no light coming in. The telephones, the noises should be minimal as possible. Like why I say the sleeping during night is more important, because whatever you might say, there's so many diversions during the day. The phone is ringing, the doorbell is ringing, the sound of vehicles, the sound of people coming in the house, the students talking, what children talking, making noise. So it does disturb you. So not everybody is sleeping. So that is why a night's sleep is a good quality sleep. But when you do not have a choice, I think basically what we have to do, we have to recreate night during daytime. So it should be absolutely as near nighttime as possible. So the people should not be calling you. You should have less of noise in the room, less of light in the room, and you should maintain a same pattern during weekend also when you are having a off. Try to do it, so that you sleep better, and then opt for rotational duties. So suppose you have a day duty, then you opt for afternoon duty and then night duty. So it should not be night on a continuous basis, that will really affect your social interactions and your life quality of life. So that is what we suggest, that it should be a rotational, and most of the places it is rotational. So that
That's
people have a feeling of meeting other people also, and social interactions are also important.
Right. So mimicking a day to night or a night to day is quite important. And the transition is important, you say. Like even if they're stepping out of office, wear your goggles and leave and things like that makes a
Yeah,
difference to people who are
yeah.
working in night shifts. And maybe to keep their phones on silent when they're sleeping, getting enough sleep, like you said. These are quite important because now the world is getting smaller. UTC is becoming more common than standard times of different countries. So there is really no time difference now. You can connect to somebody who's in the US from one end of the world to the other or any other country. So, like you said, I think people have to be a little more conscious about their waking hours and sleep hours. So there are
Fast.
people who complain that they cannot sleep, fall asleep faster, or they have insomnia. What do you tell those people? How can they relax their minds before going to sleep?
So there's something known as sleep hygiene. So which is as important as normally what happens, people generally tend to take, okay, give me a pill, give me some medicine so that I sleep better. But non-pharmacological measures or something like what I was talking about, sleep hygiene, is as important. I would rather say it's more important than taking this. If you follow these, maybe you do not need pills to take and get back to sleep. So for sleep hygiene, I would say the first is the same, like I had already spoken about, consistent sleep wake schedule. Then second is you should have your dinner 2 hours before sleeping. Third is if you do not fall asleep, this is also known as if you lie down on bed and do not fall asleep for 20 minutes. So you do not have to toss and turn in the bed. You have to get up from the bed because we do not want you to associate bed with the feeling of frustration. So if you do not fall, so various studies have been done and they've set a limit at 20 minutes. So if you do not fall asleep, try all those things. Try it. I would be telling you about the relaxing exercise which you can do. But if you do not fall asleep for after 20 minutes, get up from the bed, read a book, clean your drawer, do something, listen to the music, but go to bed only when you're feeling sleepy. You should not be tossing and turning in the bed the whole night because it then becomes kind of a whirlpool. The more you try to sleep, the less you can sleep. And then you start feeling scared of going to bed because you have started associated your bed with a feeling of frustration. So this is also one rule that you have to get up from the bed if you're not asleep within 20 days, 20 minutes. And for relaxation, I would say ki they need to, they can take a warm bath like I was talking earlier, and they also develop a bedtime ritual. And they can, for relaxing the mind, it's better that they have a warm glass of milk also they can have. So milk also calms down the mind, and they can do some relaxation exercises. So like it's deep breathing exercises. So there's a rule of 639, or you can say it can be 428. So what is six? Six is the 6 seconds you inhale deeply, 3 seconds you hold the breath, and for 6 seconds slowly you exhale. So these are deep breathing exercise. For 6 seconds you inhale, 3 seconds you hold the breath, and 9 seconds you exhale. So exhalation time is always longer than the inhalation time, and you exhale slowly, keeping all your mind on your breath. And then there's another thing known as progressive muscular relaxation. When you lie down, you start from your toes. So you tense your toes and then relax it. So you're basically relaxing each and every part of your body. First you tense them, and then so from your toes you move up to your calves, then you move to your thighs, then you move to your abdominal muscles, your chest muscles, your arm muscles, and then you also on your face, clench your teeth and then release them. Then you can puff your face, blow your cheeks and release them, clench your eyes and release. So this is known as progressive muscular relaxation. And slowly and steadily you will start relaxing and go back to sleep. And then there's graded imagery. So in that is visual. So you try to close your eyes and try to imagine you are at a beach or you're in mountains, whatever you would prefer, and start visualizing that thing. Start visualizing everything, the sound of the water, the shuffling of the leaves. And basically you're trying to live a pleasant and a very good moment where you would like to be. So that also helps to relax your mind, and then you can go. There are various sleep apps nowadays where you can get all these somebody would be telling you a story, calming story, so that you can go up to sleep. There are ocean sounds, sea sounds, rough shuffling of leaves, chirping of birds. So then these also relax you and make you go back to sleep faster. And there's something known as counting of sheep. Lay down and count sheep, 100 sheep on a farm. So they say by 70th or 80th sheep to go to sleep. So these are all techniques to basically calm or relax the mind. And I would also say that sleep journaling, they say, is a very important thing. So some people who are anxious and stressed, who are not able to sleep, so they should start maintaining a diary. So whatever things which are troubling them, should note it in a diary and go to bed only with a relaxed mind and get up, and they don't need to show the diary to anybody. But like they say, just transfer your worries from your mind to the paper and let it be there. Next time when you pick it up, they'll seem lighter. So that is very important. I think maintaining a sleep journal will really help people who are anxious, who are really worried, something is weighing on their mind. So they should put it down on the paper.
Right, that's very similar to maintaining a normal journal as well, right? Because they say that whatever you are worried about, you put it there and it seems to go away, or rather seems to dull over a few days. And it applies to sleep as well. So it's helpful to maintain a journal for the day as well as for sleeps. And talking about children, Dr. Seema, I'm sure a lot of parents are facing this. How about children's sleep quality? Because we all, as a parent, I always tell them to get 8 hours of sleep. Is that enough for them, or do they need more sleep as a child?
Children do need more sleep, so we have laid down rules by the different associations of sleep as to what is the ideal time for like an infant needs around 14 to 17 hours of sleep. And then as you grow older, the sleeping time decreases. It becomes 14 to 15 hours. For a toddler, it becomes 10 to 13 hours. For school going children, also it's around 12 hours. For teenagers, it's about 8 to 10 hours. So it gradually decreases as you grow, but children do need a longer time than adults to sleep. And it does affect their education, it does affect their behavior and their mood, their energy. So the sleeping time is very, very important. So I tell the adults also, basically when they come, so you have to be a role model for your children. If you expect that you want to get up till 12 o'clock and you want your children to sleep at 8 o'clock, that is not possible. So you need to regulate your sleep so that you can regulate your children's sleep, because they will do what they see. So for parents, I would really advise to look after their children. They should have a good quality sleep, like we have in adults also. The same strategy should be followed for children as well. The bedroom should be quiet, cool, and comfortable. The light, a small night light can be there so that the child doesn't get scared when if he gets up in the middle of the night. And he should be again having a consistent sleep wake time. So if you put your bed to sleep, child to sleep at 8:30, so do it regularly at 8:30, so that he knows now, okay, that this is night to sleep. And this is something known as bedtime ritual for children, like school going children. So always wash their face, brush your teeth, wear your night suit, pack your bag, say your prayers. So this is kind of a ritual, calming ritual. The child also knows, okay, now I've washed my face, brushed my teeth, packed my bag. So these five things I've done, the body also gets to know, yeah, now it's time to sleep. So it's the same for adults and children. So it's good to have a ritual, so where the body gets to know, okay, these five things have been done. And now when you lie down, now it's the sleeping time. So for children also, it should be followed.
So these are like cues that your body takes. If you have a
Yes.
bedtime routine, and your body
Yeah.
naturally knows that it's time to go to bed, and it helps them fall asleep faster. There are children who sleep talk, who sleep walk, who have night terrors. Is this something common in children, or should parents be worried and see a doctor?
I think initially they should just try to, like I said, take all sleep hygiene steps for the children also. And if child is sleepwalking, they should make sure that it is absolutely, the things are aligned so much that he doesn't hurt himself. The door should be locked. He should not be going to dangerous areas where near the stairs, near the lift, when he's sleepwalking. Basically, lock the bedroom so that if he has to walk, he has to walk in the room. and start noting down the time when he's sleepwalking or he has a sleep terror. He gets up in the night and start maintaining a diary and note it down when they're having it, how often they're having it. So normally, children have have episode of sleep terror about 20 to 30 minutes after they go up to sleep. So maybe the time, as soon as you realize, okay, now the 20 minutes or 30 minutes have elapsed, they can go into the room and be there for the child. And if the incidences of sleep terror and walking is too many, then they should consult a sleep specialist. And normally, it usually wanes off as the child grows up. And you can be with the child, read a calming story to him. Basically, the child has to be made that he's loved all throughout. I think that does affect the child. If he knows that parents are around and there's nothing which is going to happen to him, slowly and steadily it wanes off. But if still it persists, then they should see a doctor.
So it's better to do a psychological evaluation of the child and see if there's something worrying the child.
Yes, absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
what if this happens much later in the night? You said it normally happens 20 to 30 minutes after they fall asleep, but what if this happened like 3 a.m. or yeah, around that time?
So there's something known as graded extinction in the child. It must be something affecting the child that he does get up. Somebody has to be there, and like I said, we have to see how often. Suppose he has a terror attack, and the parents are there; they're able to calm him down, and the child knows every time I scream, the parents would be there, calming me down. So it should not. So here they have to see the child and see how often he does that. Basically, does he want them to come or he sleeps through the night? If he sleeps through the night and then not many, slowly and gradually it wanes off. But if it persists, then they should see a doctor.
Right. Right. I think you have covered almost everything that a person could possibly ask a sleep specialist. We really appreciate that you took out so much time, and we've reached almost the end of the session today, and we're nearing our time limit as well. But thank you so much for being with us today, for answering all these questions. I know a lot of people will have more questions maybe than what we've tried to cover, but you've done most of it. You've said how to take care of sleep journaling, how to have a steady routine, bedtime routine. What's a good quality sleep? How many hours of sleep? You've even covered what to eat, what not to eat, what to drink, what not to drink. Basically, everything that a person needs to know about good sleep hygiene. And with this, I sure hope that people give more importance to good sleep hygiene, because I think this is something very, very underrated, and it's mocked upon in most cases, right? People going to bed, people tend to make fun of those people. Oh, you're going to bed so early. Oh, you need so many hours of sleep. Oh, are you still sleeping? And the new thing that's in the headlines now, that women need more sleep than men. All these things tend to be made fun of, and I feel sometimes I feel really guilty to be in bed, because people are always saying, "Oh, are you still not up yet? And you've not got enough sleep," and things like that. So I don't know, should I be feeling guilty at all for
You should
sleeping
not
eight
be.
hours?
If they say, if you do not sleep, how would you dream? So if you have to dream big, you have to sleep. And they say, let her sleep or let him sleep. Once he wakes up, he'll move mountains and he'll shake the world. So you need to sleep to get that good quality of and get that good energy. And you have to dream to make them come true. So you need to sleep to dream.
With technology, we are moving farther away from these basic principles. And we sure hope that now, with this awareness, I sure hope that more people are aware and realize that it's normal to sleep. And if they're not getting a normal sleep, then they should see a sleep specialist. And now that we have you on the platform, it's much easier for people around the world to reach out to you. So thank you so much. Thank you for being with us today and for sharing your insights. And we hope you have a good day today.
Thank you. Same here.